Thanks to Canon for sponsoring today's video. What's going on, guys? It's your average consumer, and today we are checking out something that we should have checked out a long time ago. This is the Canon EOS R mirrorless camera. This was actually Canon's first mirrorless camera, and this new line of mirrorless cameras and RF lenses completely changed the game for Canon when it comes to video. And I'm actually excited about testing out the EOS R because I personally own the EOS R5. I picked that up recently. I've been traveling with it, been loving it, enjoying it, bought a ton of lenses. And for me, it has a lot of like the crazy specs, 4K, shoots in 8K. For me, that's good for what we do here on YouTube. But now I wanna think about like just the average person who wants to go out, maybe grab a Canon camera because they love Canon or they love Canon's colors, whatever the reason may be, they want Canon. How does this thing work when it comes to video? So I'm excited to see how this thing performs at its price point, which you can actually get for even less now. If you head on over to the Canon USA website, you can instantly save 200 bucks on this guy. So now's a pretty good time to go and grab this if you've been looking into it. And don't worry, I'll have my personal link down below in the description for you guys to check it out. But now let's talk about how this thing actually performs and what you get when you pick one of these up. So this is, like I said, a mirrorless camera. One of the benefits of a mirrorless camera is you get all those nice, great specs, but it comes in a smaller footprint. This is a 30.3 megapixel camera capable of shooting 4K, of course, full HD. 4K 30 frames per second though, that's what we want to take a look at. Now, having a small body for creators like myself is usually really important because you want to be able to go around with your camera, not have it weigh you down, and this definitely will not. So of course, we've got the nice compact body. You've got that screen that tilts out. You can pretty much put it in any orientation that you might want, something that we've seen on Canon forever. So I'm glad to see it here. And this is great, especially if you try to do the whole vlogging thing. Would you vlog with this camera?
Of course, why not?
But no, this screen is perfect for just being able to go around, capture yourself doing things. Then whenever you flip and try to get something else, you can always keep an eye on what your subject is and what you're capturing. So this right here, Creator World, is a must-have. Now we're not gonna get super technical and do a deep dive of all like the buttons and whatnot, but something that I really like that they have here with the EOS R is this bar right here. It's a touch-sensitive bar that you can assign different settings. So if you wanna change your white balance or your ISO, whatever it may be, you can actually just press this or swipe. So you can very quickly on the fly, just make adjustment changes that you need to. So this is very, very nice. ISO control here is huge for me because that's probably one of the settings I change the most if I'm on the go, especially because lighting conditions just change depending on where you currently are. So that is a nice little feature to have. And for the most part, the body is what you would expect. This is like a compact DSLR. You even have a nice little screen up top so that you can see certain settings. If you're in the dark, you want access to quick information, but maybe not look at the screen per se. You can always look at it from up top. You got that there. You've got a single memory card. This thing takes SD cards, so you can just pop one in here and you're pretty much good to go. So very simple, but let's talk about how this thing actually performs and capture some content. So I've taken this camera out for a variety of shoots, and you guys know we tend to do a lot of product shots here on the channel. So our main use cases are suited for a more commercial style of shooting. And the video here is crisp, colors look good, and something I'm pretty happy about is how it handles skin tones. We focus a lot on products, but I'm also on the camera a lot. So making sure myself and anyone else who's in the shot is represented well right off the bat is really important. Canon is known for handling skin tones well, and you guys can see that here for yourself. Now, if you're interested in picking up this camera with video in mind, there are a multitude of RF lenses available for you to choose from. I've primarily been using the RF 24-105 f4L lens, which covers a huge range and gives a ton of flexibility if I want to have a wide or really tight close-up shot. It has image stabilization built in as well, which is extremely important if you plan on doing anything handheld. But you can always switch it up with other lenses if you want to get even wider, get super close-up macro shots. There are tons of options to choose from, even though these line of lenses are relatively new. I'm big on zoom lenses, and with the ones that I personally picked up, I feel like I'm pretty much covered for everything I could need. But I do a lot of video, so having this kind of arsenal makes sense, But if you're just getting into it, I'm telling you, the RF 24-105 will cover a lot of ground. Needless to say, this camera has been dope, and I can easily take the footage that I've been shooting right from here and use it on a professional level. Not to mention, most of the B-roll that you guys have been seeing has come from the EOS R. I'm telling you guys, it's pretty impressive stuff. All right guys, so we're back inside, and we wanted to just take a quick look at some of the shots that we just went out to get and see how they look right off the camera. And I gotta say, you guys, this is actually really impressive stuff. Now, one thing about Canon cameras is that they have really, really good color science. Basically what that means is the colors that you get right off of the camera without doing any edits at all look really good. And they have like this characteristic that I think a lot of people enjoy. And I'm just taking a look at some of this footage, and if you're not someone who really knows how to edit videos and you just want a really nice starting place, this thing can absolutely deliver. And that's always been the case with Canon cameras. I remember when I first started YouTube, I didn't know what color grading was. I wasn't really good at editing. And a lot of times people thought I was color grading my stuff because it looked good, but it was coming right off of my Canon camera without me even knowing what color grading was. So shout out to Canon for the extra help there. But that still seems to reign true today. Just looking at some of this stuff. I would of course make some tweaks with where I am now in terms of video editing. And this is with the RF 24-105. It looks super sharp. What would I even do to mess with this? Bump the saturation just a smidge? I mean, did I do much? Let's see. Okay, I see a slight bump. I didn't really have to do much to this though. That's saying a lot, because for me personally, I always have tons of little tweaks that I want to do to make sure I get the image in a place where I like it. And this one, I barely did anything and it looks super good. Jay, wouldn't you say we would use this on the channel with what we're seeing right here?
I would say before you do anything, we can post on the channel.
Exactly. So if that's where you are, maybe you're in the beginning stages of video editing, you want that really good starting place, this is not a bad place to start at all. So, I mean, this is great in terms of video. And of course, you know, it doesn't just stop at the body. You have all these different lenses that you can take advantage of. There are just tons and tons of things that you can pull off with a camera like that, which makes it really versatile and a really good starting point, especially when you consider the price, 1,600 bucks. That's solid. I'd say that's an easy recommendation. If you're trying to get into video, the Canon EOS R, such a good option. But yeah, guys, I think it's safe to say after spending some time with this camera, I took it on my trip to Hawaii. I've had it for a few weeks now, and it's a good buy. But I'm just personally really happy about this. As somebody who always has to make recommendations, this one's right up there and now on my list. So that about wraps it up for this video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did and you've walked away feeling like you want to pick up one of these, which I think is safe to recommend, definitely make sure you check the links down below in the description. Save 200 bucks. It's a big deal. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Till then, it's your average consumer. Peace. Give me my R5 back, Jay. I want to go shoot some stuff.